What's happening?
Hey, buddy.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode. This week was interesting. I know you guys have maybe noticed the past few weeks we try and talk a little bit about what's new at Funky Moose Records before we dive into the episode, and this week is no exception on that. Actually, there's a little bit of, well, I'm excited. I think it's exciting news, but Mark, why don't you tell everybody listening what went on this last week here?
You make it sound like I'm not excited about it.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it is exciting. A marketing agency that works with Foo Fighters reached out to me and asked if I wanted to, or if we wanted to join and help promote Foo Fighters' new movie.
Yeah. Called
Studio 666.
Frickin' rights. As soon as that trailer came out, I was texting you about it. Hey, did you see this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys at home were able to see it, but why don't we just take a minute here? We're going to play the trailer to the movie. You guys check this out here, and we'll get into it after.
Foo Fighters! You gotta get me a record.
It's our 10th album. We gotta break the mold on this one. Up top. Let's go somewhere we've never been.
This place is amazing.
Do you guys get this overwhelming sense of debt? Ooh. Doesn't really seem like the right fit. Whoa, it's rad. That was weird. The sound of this house is the sound of album 10.
All right, you guys, amps, living room.
Let me apologize in advance for all the rock we're about to make.
Got a couple of ideas I've been working on. I'll lay them on you.
Dude, wait. It's called Everlong, and you wrote it about 20 years ago.
How you feeling? Everything okay?
Ever since we moved into this house, my mind is flooded.
We all have writer's block.
This is not just a creepy rock and roll house, but it allows spiritual entities to cross into our world.
Oh my God! Dude has got one flew over the cuckoo's nest crazy.
It's this place, man.
Let's finish the track.
Can't we just wait, dude?
Play the drums.
You found a new musical note?
Hell yes, I did.
It's an L.
Any chefs in the group?
I'm pretty handy on a grill.
Yeah, you like your meat charred and dry.
He does make a killer barbecue.
What do we do?
We go save his ass.
Is the album almost done?
Yeah, it's killer.
Here you go, man. Finish the song.
You did.
That is the new movie coming out on the 25th.
I'm excited about this. It reminds me of what did you say the other day?
Tenacious D.
Yes.
It definitely has. It made me think of that. I wouldn't go as far to say as it has that vibe.
It's not
to
the
it,
pick of
but-
destiny, but
No, but it just. I love that movie, Tenacious D. Like that's one of my favorite movies.
he does. And for the longest time, I had Master Exploder as my ringtone.
Did you? Nice. But yeah, this movie actually. So I was watching the Foo Fighters on Howard Stern, like a few days back or whatever. I guess last week, and Dave was saying how the house that they filmed in, it was something like his friend or his neighbor had that house up for sale and was like, "Hey, Dave, do you want to buy my house or whatever?" And he's like, "No, but I'll rent it and can we do some recording in there or something?" And I think they had the idea for this as just like a short, right?
Yeah.
Like a skit. And then, they end up getting some writers on board, and then it just kind of evolved into this, and they were like, we can film this movie here. So that's kind of,
Yeah.
if I'm paraphrasing that, but go check out that freaking interview on Howard Stern if you want to know more. But that's kind of how that came about. And then and I agree with him on this, but like, who better like rock star musician who has done it all already. Like, who better to do a silly, goofy horror movie like this than the Foo Fighters, right? Like,
they're you can tell in the trailer that they're definitely not actors.
Well, they're not. They're rock stars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Right? And then you look at their all their videos, they're all like little goofs.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember like any one of their videos? They're just poking fun at themselves and everything.
Yeah.
So I think this is like right up their alley. I freaking can't wait to see this movie.
Yeah.
Very fired up. And we have tickets for the concert coming out.
Yes,
so I don't
sir.
know if you guys ended up getting your tickets, but like
September.
Yeah, you betcha.
We'll be there in Saskatoon.
We ended up getting our the pre-sale, but like tickets went on sale last Friday. But we got our tickets on Wednesday because we ended up doing like, what was it, Platinum Access or whatever the frick it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but I had my tickets last Wednesday, dude. Like freaking 10 a.m. they went on sale. We were on site, and
because of that, I have tickets too.
Yeah, so it's so funny, you guys. Whenever we book a hotel room or we're getting concert tickets, it's like chances are I'm going to kind of throw my wife under the bus here a little bit. But I love you, darling. I love you so much. There's always something. Like if we book a hotel room, we'll like book the wrong hotel or like a different room or there's some kind of mix up, right? Same with concert tickets. That happened with this one. We went into Ticketmaster and halfway through the order, she got kicked out. So whatever, she went back in, made the purchase, and then I don't know how many hours later, she got the confirmation that both transactions went through. So I was like, I guess I do got 2 extra tickets, Mark, if you want them. So
I love your wife too.
Yeah. But that happened with Metallica as well. So we ended up so a little story there was when on their last tour, we bought VIP tickets for, how did that work? I wanted VIP tickets in Saskatoon. But then she ended up getting the VIP tickets in Winnipeg.
By accident.
And we were like, well, okay, we'll just, exchange them for the Saskatoon ones or return them or whatever. But we weren't allowed to do that. So then we ended up buying the VIP tickets for Saskatoon. And then and then we just went to, it was like 2 days, 2 days in between. Same seats, same freaking everything, dude. So we drove to Winnipeg, made a couple nights out of it. We went a day early. And the day after the concert, we drove back home so that I could hit up the concert in Saskatoon the next night. And I swear to God that they recognized me because it was like the same seat. It was kind of like a double take look, like you again, right? So it was freaking so good. Such a good concert. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that trailer and stick with us. We'll get right into this week's episode. Enjoy.
We're having coffee together.
Yeah, legitimately got my coffee here, so.
I got mine too. My name is Shayla Souliere, and this is episode 105 of the Sit Down Podcast.
Muse Canada is a new arts and entertainment media connection and support network. Skip the algorithms of social media and connect with other entertainment professionals across Canada. Sign up for just $5 a month or use the discount code FunkyMoose2021 for 10% off your subscription.
Welcome and thank you. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Cheers.
Good morning. How are you? I'll have my coffee. Cheers.
So thank you for joining us. For everybody at home. So the way that we got to meet each other was at the basement, if I remember correctly, right? We were introduced through a mutual friend.
Yes.
And I
thought you were gonna name drop, but whatever.
Yeah. I'm tired of talking about weapons on the show. We're a big advocate of weapons all the time.
Oh, they're the best. They're good.
Yeah,
they're good
guys.
shit.
You bet. So thanks to Jordan for the referral.
Yes. Thank you.
But yeah, I was able to listen to your music. I always go to like YouTube all the time. I don't really do Tidal or Spotify or any of that stuff. And I was able to watch like a few of your videos on there. And one of them has been just released not that long ago, right?
Yeah, on Friday it was. Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a journey and a half to get that shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was like, COVID always having other plans. My dad ended up catching COVID, and right now I'm sharing the house with them. And so I mean, my mom and I never actually officially caught it. But yeah, it had other plans, and we ended up being able to shoot it and stuff, but we were supposed to shoot it at my house. And of course we couldn't do that because my dad was quarantined to the basement. And so thankfully my friend came and saved me and let me use her house. So it worked out in the end, but it was a little stressful at the time.
I can imagine.
No doubt. So that was right in Saskatoon that you filmed that, right?
You're in Regina.
Oh, you're in Regina. Okay.
I am. Yeah.
Right on. How long have you been in Regina for?
I mean, I was born and raised here, but I've been like traveling back and forth for like the last 10 years for my music.
Right.
And yeah, I've lived in Calgary for a little bit, lived in LA for a little bit, lived in I don't even remember where else, but I've kind of been all over the place, and I have plans to move again. I kind of came home during COVID and just stayed home for a couple of years because we all know that the industry kind of got hit hard with COVID. So I was grateful that I had, family to come back to and a house
for sure.
to come back to.
So the other cities you've lived in, you moved there for your music?
Yeah. So, I mean, they were like kind of short term, like they were project based essentially. So it wasn't like long-term living, but LA, I was out there for about 2-3 months. And then Calgary, I was out there for about 2-ish months as well. 2-3 months. Actually just before COVID happened in like 2019. I was out there doing the Canada's Music Incubator program. I don't know if you've heard of it. But
I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No.
What?
Yes, you have.
Yeah, you have.
What is it?
Matt Blaze and Justine Giles were in there.
Is that like those videos that they had when they were performing like live?
No. No, you go as an artist, you go into this, what is it? Is it like an apartment or no, it's not an apartment. It's like a house that you live together and you make music together and you.
Well, you don't live together.
I thought that was in Toronto.
What?
Well, they have one in Toronto, and then they found that a lot of artists from the West were coming out to the program. So they started a West one. So that's, I feel like we were like, I don't even know how many were before us, but maybe, I think we were like year 3 or something like that. But we were the last one before COVID, and the last one to be in person. They're all virtual now. But yeah, it was, so we don't all necessarily live in the same place. But we're all gathered in one city for like whatever.
Right.
I think it's like 6 weeks or something like that. And yeah, it's great. They bring like mentors out. They like producers, managers, you name, performance coaches, vocal coaches, all that. And so there's like the business side of it where they sit down and talk business with you. And then there's like the artist side of it, which was really cool. I've, made a lot of connections through the program, and it was awesome. And yeah, the CMI team have been part of my team ever since, and they're good people.
That sounds like that could be one of those like MTV shows or something, right? Where you put a bunch of musicians in a house and set up cameras everywhere. And then,
you know what? When Matt and Justine were talking about it, I kind of envisioned like, oh, this is like Big Brother, but with musicians.
But
like
with
Big Brother.
Yeah.
That'd be a good show, man.
Yeah.
I would totally watch that.
Funky Moose Records.
We should make it.
I think we could. We each have a rental property. We could do that. Do it in Bellevue.
Yeah, we do.
Set up some musicians in the households, and then meet at the hall once
Cameras
a week.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Except for the bathroom. Don't put that in the bathroom. Anyways, that'd be a good show.
That'd be a great show. I'm game. I will be on this first season.
Sweet.
100%. We'll start that snowball going right now. Hell yeah. So how long ago was that last single released? That was just like last week or something, wasn't it?
She said
It
Friday.
was a couple weeks ago when it like actually released, but that song has been written and recorded for like 7 years, probably.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
I sat on that song for a very, very long time.
Oh, and
It's
wow.
honestly
How-
not like a true representation to like what my music is right now, but like a bunch of stuff happened where things kind of fell through, and I, wanted to stay relevant with like releasing stuff. So I had 3 songs that I was like sitting on for years. So I was just like, "Okay, now's the time to release this." And so yeah, I kind of released it. It's music that I have always loved and I will always love, but it's just like, yeah, it's not where I'm at as an artist anymore, because that was like 7 years ago.
Right.
You grow a lot in 7 years.
No doubt. No doubt. The world's been through lots.
Remind us what it's called again.
Unsend?
Unsend was the one that just released. Yeah. And then prior to that, I had Love Me Better and Follow the Light, I think is how I released them. Yeah. Those were all done in LA with a producer out there. And yeah, it was just time to release them right now. I guess everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how that happened.
Do you get any radio play with the songs that you released?
I get some. So I've had 3 songs go to radio-ish. And so Unsend and like the other songs that just released, the last 3, those are not Canadian content. So I didn't do anything for radio with that because it would just be a waste of money.
Right.
On my
Wait,
end.
hang on. Why is that not Canadian content?
Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit too.
Well, I was the only Canadian on the song. So I co-wrote it with 3 other Americans and it was produced in the States. So it needs to like have 2 out of the 4. Yeah.
Oh.
And
here I am like, so you're the one saying it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. Like you're the artist.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, no. I wish it was.
I didn't know that.
Like look, there's 4 parts. So there's like music, lyric, production, and artist. So I'd have like 100% artist. You have to have 2 out of the 4. And like music and lyrics can be like divided equally. So say if you wrote half the music, half the lyrics, then that would count as 1. Or if the production was done in Canada, then that would count as 1. But you have to have 2 out of the 4 essentially to qualify as Canadian content.
So wouldn't that be 50%? Then it could be both American and Canadian content at the same time?
No, because there was 4. If there was just 2 writers on the song and we both took half, then it would be. But there was 4 of us, so it's 75% music lyric is American because all 3 of my co-writers were American.
Interesting.
Aren't we just citizens of the world?
Yeah, we're all humans, right?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I got more questions on this a little bit.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you what I know. I'm no like radio tracker or anything. I'm just the artist, but I'll do my best.
Well, because you said to release that Canadian would be too much money. So how does that factor
do a whole radio campaign behind it, like to hire a tracker, to hire, people to make a successful radio campaign. Like it's pretty penny. Like it's expensive to take a song to radio, especially I don't know any other genre because I've never released any other genre but pop, but the pop industry is very hard. Like it's very competitive. And there's a very small category for you to fit into, and like you're competing against like A-list artists. So if you're not like as an emerging artist, it's a lot of money to bring a tracker on board when the song is not going to get played because it doesn't fit the Canadian content category.
Yeah, the criteria or whatever. Yeah, because we had Lou from Beach Radio on an episode, and he was saying that too. Like he doesn't get to decide what plays, but there is like not an algorithm per se, but you have to have like X amount of Canadian versus.
Yeah, what was it? 36% or something. It was a very specific number.
Yeah, of how much content.
Yeah. That when radios become a radio station, they have to, in Canada at least, they have to agree to play whatever that percentage is of Canadian music. And that's where that CanCon falls into place for like writing on your songs.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy, isn't it? It's
So in that incubator,
yeah.
now the last time we talked to Justine and or Matt,
Yeah.
I think there was something also with Sirius XM.
Okay.
Is that when you come out of that incubator, you automatically kind of get airplay there? Is that?
No. Not that I know of, unless I'm missing out of something.
Well,
In
we've
that
had
case,
we've had
we need to talk. Just kidding.
Well, we've had almost 100 guests, so the stories kind of blend together at one point.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
However, those stations, like, again, there are pop stations on Sirius and like Stingray and all that, but a lot of from what I know, a lot of this pop stations on Sirius are the States, like they're ran by like the US. So I don't know if they would be part of that program. Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be all honest with you. I want to go look into this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm probably wrong, so don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I said, it's hard in the pop world to get like any sort of radio play. So it's yeah, I feel like it probably isn't the case for pop. But you never know.
So when when you're distributing your like this single that you just put out, how do you release that out to the world? Do you just do you use like DistroKid or something and then?
Yeah, I've been using Well, I've used a few different platforms, but I've been using TuneCore lately. I feel like I'm still juggling around with the distribution platforms just because like some people do this and some people do that and some are better at this thing. So I'm still figuring out what's best for me and like my releases, but I'm like keeping my eye open for like distribution deals as well through like companies like Believe and like that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you got some awesome numbers on, especially like your YouTube channel. There was one video, I'm trying to remember which one it was now, but it had like 76,000 views. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I gotta look it up here because I want to name drop it, which one it was.
I feel like it was probably Screw You.
So what was that about?
So what was that about?
Yeah.
You know what?
Screw You. What that was the one.
Yeah. So that song, probably one of my favorites to date. Yeah, I mean that one we wrote. I'm trying to remember what we wrote that one about. I wrote that one like probably 8-9 years ago. That I feel like there was just like a lot of stuff going on where I just felt we started with "fuck you," and then we were like, okay, if we ever want to get played on radio, it probably shouldn't.
That's not happening.
The edited version.
Yeah, so we decided on Screw You, and that's kind of how that evolved. But yeah, that song actually ended up, what TikTok is now used to be called Musical.ly.
Yep.
And it actually ended up like getting quite a bit of traction on that app. And so that's where a lot of the views came from, the followers came from, that kind of thing.
Hell yeah. Do you use TikTok quite often? I saw that you posted one on, Valentine's Day. You were like, spending my Valentine's Day singing Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, Taylor Swift.
Screw you.
I'm like, how fitting. Taylor Swift.
How was your Valentine's Day? Did you do anything special or was it just a stay-home day?
No, this girl's a independent, single-driven artist. I don't want to be single forever, but right now I am, and I'm enjoying just doing me.
Right.
Working hard and all that.
Right. So
not really. I didn't do
is
much.
The music thing, is that like the full-time gig or do you have a full-time
Yes.
job as well?
So it is the full-time gig. Doing a few other things right now to support something that I can't announce yet. But yeah, like I have my hands in the pot of a few different things for income right now, but music, the last two, COVID was good for me in that way. It really pushed me out of my shell. I was working a job and it kind of kicked me in the butt to kind of get rid of it and focus 100% on my music. And I grew a lot in the last year. But yes, it is my full-time gig. And I plan on having it my full-time gig for the rest of my life.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah. You have our support 100%
Yep.
for sure. I'm
Thanks.
definitely a fan.
I appreciate it.
So that being said, well, you just said that you can't talk about it, but I want to know what you're working on.
Well, I mean, I'm writing lots. There's gonna be lots of releasing in the next year. Hopefully an EP, my debut EP. I've done a lot of singles. I think I probably have like 11 singles out. So I focused on singles for a while just to kind of build up, and like I want to drop an EP in the next year. Possibly a move, like permanently.
Right.
Can't really say where right now, but yeah, possibly a move. Lots of like things that are in the process, like I know that are happening, but they're not confirmed yet. So
Right.
yeah, it's like I don't want to jinx it.
For sure.
Are you thinking of collaborating with other artists?
Yeah.
For example, we know you through Jordan. So
Yeah.
would you do a song with Weapons, for example?
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope. I'd love that.
But okay, so you haven't talked about that yet.
No, we haven't talked about that yet. But so Jordan and like the Weapons Boys and I met through a mutual friend who was in the music industry. Unfortunately, COVID had other plans for his career, and he's no longer doing that right now. But we met through him. So it was like a radio station that we met through, and yeah, and then our friendships developed. And that night that I met you guys was actually the first night that I met Jordan, but it was like we had talked for a while, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it was the first time because they're in Saskatoon, I'm in Regina, and I was just there because my friends, Electric Religious, were playing, and I was in the program with Brandon.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
In that kind of music incubator program. Yeah. Yeah.
There was a third one.
There was
a third one.
Yeah. Brandon.
A third one in that program. So Matt,
yes.
Christine, and Brandon.
And Brandon.
Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of that, I kind of want to give a little shout out to Olivia, Brendan's wife. Yeah, we got her scheduled to come on the show as well, and she just released a new single out there too. So
yeah,
King of Foxes. For those of you watching and listening, check that out as well.
That's not the song. That's her band name.
Yes,
that's the band name. Yeah, Olivia's great. Brandon's great. Honestly, every single person that I've met out of that program is just amazing humans and very talented. And obviously the Weapons Boys are as well. And yeah, I have lots of artists that I want to collaborate with. I would love that.
So how does that work?
Weapons, hit me up.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, and we'll say Funky Moose was a result of that.
Yeah. We just want a credit on the back of the single.
Yeah.
Have a moose in the background of that still.
There
that
you go.
thumbnail. Okay, so when you're performing on stage, how does that work? Do you just get like session musicians to come and play with you, or do you have like a go-to group to come and help you?
Right now I'm just hiring people. So I do have a show coming up actually in Saskatoon, but I can't say anything about it yet. But there is an announcement coming at some point. I was supposed to announce it like, I don't even know, a month ago, but I got told to wait because things might be changing because of COVID and everything. So yeah, it's actually a pretty big show and I'm super excited about it. but yeah, I hire people to come out and play with me. So I'll have like backing tracks, and then I'll have like specifically for this show, I'm gonna bring on like a piano synth player, but I'm also gonna get them to do like a bit of like a drum machine kind of thing.
Right.
Because I'm opening essentially, so I'm not gonna have much room. And then I'll bring a guitar player as well, and they'll kind of play around the track.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, which I'm all right with. Like, I feel like all pop artists end up having a track behind them, and they have artists, like other musicians playing for them. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening right now in my live shows.
Right on.
This episode is brought to you by Inspired Vapor Company. InspiredVaporCompany.com is a father-son partnership, and they have 3 locations in Saskatchewan, in Melfort, Prince Albert, and Humboldt. And their goal is to help as many people as possible quit cigarettes.
Yeah, a couple of stand-up guys there, Kevin and Blaine Tates. They're there to help you guys if you want to transition from cigarettes to vaping. I think vaping's better than cigarettes. And they're the guys to talk to about it. So go to inspiredvaporcompany.com and use the promo code Moose10 at your checkout, and you'll get 10% off.
Yeah,
And
so I hire people basically to come
Right.
and play with me. I like to try and like keep the same people that I work
Yeah.
with, because especially if I have a good relationship with them and we all like connect and vibe, like that's kind of energy you want on stage. So
Yep.
I try to keep them, and yeah,
Heck yeah.
where I'm at with that, with the live music scene.
When's
It's hard to play live shows here. It's very, very hard being a pop artist.
Yeah, I bet.
I can imagine, because I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen a pop
show.
artist play live before.
Like
I'm
other than,
usually like going
like Katy Perry and like that kind of thing. Like
Yeah, that
I-
Katy
I-
Perry show that you went to, and that Shawn Mendes that you saw live.
I never ever have I ever. I did see.
never have I ever.
I don't know if this would be considered as pop. It isn't, but I remember going to Akon and Rihanna.
Oh yeah,
I
I
had
feel like
tickets for that.
Akon would be pop.
You saw Akon live?
Dude, he was. Yeah, you already know this story.
No, I don't.
We were.
Yeah, let's hear the story.
I saw them at like the SaskTel Center, like where the Blades play, right?
Yeah.
And we were kind of sitting just in front of like the VIP section, and so like off to the side, but up a bit. Anyways, we were like the row in front of the VIP, and Akon was on stage. And when Rihanna hit the stage, Akon and his posse ended up sitting like right behind us. So the whole time Rihanna's on stage, we were turned around and we were like talking to Akon and them. So I got to meet him and everything. And
Cool.
he was pretty like
What?
He was pretty quiet. He didn't really
Was he?
say too much. Yeah, he was like, on his phone, and we were kind of talking with like the bass player and stuff more. But yeah, I got to meet him there. That was kind of
I feel
fun.
like that's most artists. Like you would assume that they're like such an extrovert, but then you go up and talk to them and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't like to talk, okay.
Yeah, well, and we were partying pretty good that night too. So how the frick?
Hang on. Akon and Rihanna?
Yeah. This was a long time ago, dude.
How did you end up there? Because that's not your music.
It was
lane.
it was the woman that I was with at that time was a fan.
I see.
Oh, what
So
you
we
do
brought-
for your partners, hey?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we brought it's kind of funny. So we brought the girls, and we had seats up there. Actually, we had like 2 or 4 seats up by that VIP, and we had another set of tickets closer to the stage, like further down, a few
Yeah.
sections down. And it was like, so we swapped tickets so that I don't even remember who in the group. I think the girls went closer to the stage and the guys stayed back. But then we ended up partying with like Akon and them. So then the girls were all pissed at us because we got to meet them and hang out with them. So it was like, oh, well, you wanted to be over there. So it was
Yeah,
something like that. If my memory is accurate on that, that's how I remember it anyway.
that's funny.
It was a fun time.
Sounds like it. Sounds like a good time.
Freaking right.
I've met some interesting people.
Oh, do tell.
Really cool people, actually. I met Steven Tyler, the coolest man on earth.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, super cool. He is really freaking small. Like,
Oh yeah.
Really?
oh yeah. Yeah. Like I'm 5'3.5" and he was shorter than I think he was probably actually about my height.
No.
Yeah. Like super small. Like I was so surprised. I'm like, whoa. I can't
I'm
believe how
sick.
tiny you are.
I'm 6'4", so he'd be tiny.
Yeah, I know maybe a little bit taller than me, but he was definitely around my height.
Interesting.
Wow.
Where did you get to meet him? And I'm guessing in LA.
Yeah, I was in LA. So I was at where were we? Oh, my family was at a LA Kings game. And we were for anyone going down to the States, if you want to go to an NHL game, go in the States. Tickets are so cheap and you get such good seats. We got the lower bowl for like, I don't even know, maybe 30 for $40 a ticket.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there watching the game, and then we like saw on like the big jumbo screen Steven Tyler. And I'm like, Mom, where is he? And we look over, he's literally the section next to us and like maybe 10 rows down. And
Holy.
yeah, so my mom and I tried to like get up and like go around to go and like see if we could meet him. And of course the security is like, no, you can't. And then we got this tap on the shoulder from this random guy. And he's like, you guys want to meet Steven Tyler? And we're like, yeah. And duh, like, yeah, of course we do. And he's like, okay, come with me. This guy was like the chairman of like the Kings, LA Kings or something like that. So he brought us down to like the area that like, I don't know, all the rooms were. And yeah, there was tons of people. Like we ended up meeting Steven Tyler. We met, I don't know if you guys watched American Idol at all.
Some of
But
it,
yeah,
Back in the
Pia
day,
Mia.
yeah.
Do you
Who?
remember that Pia girl? Pia Mia, I think is her name. Anyways, we met her, we met Steven Tyler, we met like the creator of CSI, the TV show.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was insane. I was just like, where am I right now?
Yeah. This is supposed to be a hockey game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And while this is happening, the game is on too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I feel like it was I don't even know. It was in between periods or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was insane. So met him. I met Ice Cube.
Whoa. That's
I
crazy.
think I was literally just walking on Rodeo Drive with a friend, and he was just casually walking about. And yeah. And then I met.
So what do you do in a situation like that? You go like,
I didn't even know it was him.
Oh.
It was literally my friend that lives in California that pointed him out. He was like, I'm pretty sure that's Ice Cube or whoever. Yeah. And I'm like, really? It doesn't look like him. No, that's him. It's insane. When they're like just normally out and about, you have no idea that they're
like unrecognizable.
Yeah. You have no idea. I met, did you guys ever see like the Twilight shows?
Yeah.
You have?
The guy with the dreads. I don't remember what his name is. Anyways, I met him.
A friend of mine's one of the werewolves in Twilight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most of his scene got cut, but he is in there. I think it's the second one, Eclipse.
Okay.
Sure. There's a scene. His name's Blue, Justin Rain. We call him Blue all the time. I know him as Blue, but Justin Rain is his name. He was actually one of the main actors in a show on APTN called, I want to say Blackstone.
Okay.
I think that was the name of the show. But he was a character on that too. Yeah, he used to work at freaking Superstore in Prince Albert. So shout out to my boy Blue.
Where's he living now?
Vancouver, I think. Last time I talked to him, he was planning on moving to Los Angeles, but that was pre-COVID. So I'm not sure if he's in LA right now, but he was in Vancouver last time I talked to him.
Cool.
Yeah. Freaking rights.
That's sweet.
That's like the only reason why I watched those movies, is because I knew he was one of the werewolves.
That's so funny. Yeah. I feel like I've met other people too, but I can't really remember, to be honest with you. Steven Tyler was by far the
hell yeah. Freaking right.
By far the coolest. Oh, Ryan Seacrest briefly at like an American Idol taping.
Is he short?
Yeah, he's average.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, he's average. I didn't really get to talk to him much.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Freaking rights. Okay, let's go back to your music though.
Okay.
So walk me through a process for you on when you're recording. I'm a little intrigued in it because like I see you as like a solo artist, right? Like I know you're hiring session musicians and stuff. So when you're going in and creating a song and recording it, like can you walk me through that process a little bit?
Yeah. Before COVID, it was very one way. It was like, because I honestly, all of my music that I have written, recorded, and released, minus my one song Touch and Go that was released in May, has all been written, recorded in LA. Okay. So most of the time, because it's a very time crunched visit, the track will be kind of roughly sketched out, and we would like get in the studio, we would like lay a different, like multiple different like melodies down that we like, and then we would go and write lyrics to them. However, since COVID happened and we haven't been able to travel, my writing has changed. I appreciate both ways of writing, but like I've been writing over Zoom for the last 2 years. So doing that isn't quite the same, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, now I've written literally anyway. I've started with lyrics. I've written with a guitar. I've written with just keys. It just depends who I'm writing with, really.
Right. Have you ever like written anything just you? Like you take care of everything?
I've never released anything that I've just written. Not because I don't trust my skills. I just really like collaborating.
Yeah.
Like I thrive off of like collaborating and, you know, writing with other people. I like it because you can put one idea out there and the person you're writing with will be like, oh, that's really cool, but what if we do like this? And it's like 10 times better than what, like, I don't know. I just think you get your best content when you're writing with other people.
I
agree.
I do. I agree as well.
So
I see it both ways. I totally get what you're saying.
Because I feel like you can still do everything that you would do by yourself when you're writing, but just like make it 10 times better. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to, I feel like, I don't know. You have therapy sessions when you go into songwriting sessions and you end up talking for 2 hours about what you want to write about and how you want to, what kind of message you want to get across. And then you just start writing. I don't know. I feel like it depends on who I'm writing with though, is how I like decide how I'm going to go about making the song.
Right. Where is the last place you got to perform live and how long ago was it?
The last place I got to perform, I mean, I guess I performed at City Hall this Christmas. It was like their Light the Lights event for the city of Regina. So I got to do that, but it was only like 5 songs and it was like all Christmas music. So not that it wasn't fun, but it wasn't like.
Yeah, still counts, but not you.
Yeah. So the last show was probably one of my biggest, and it was literally so random. I was in Saskatoon for what was supposed to be the Junos just before COVID hit, and I was already up there. I had like a showcase lined up and everything and all that, and of course it didn't end up happening. But I was literally sitting in the lobby of the Besbro Hotel with a few of my friends from other parts of Canada and having drinks. And I got this random call to my phone. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. It was like some Toronto number. So I answer it and I can't remember what the lady's name was or where she was from, but she was like, I'm so-and-so. SAS Music passed your number along to me. We're doing a random last minute show at Amigos for the Junos because there's a bunch of people in town and they're all stuck here because they flew in
Yeah.
today. Do you want to play? And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I have all my stuff here. Like, yeah, okay. So
As you got the little buzz going on too, right?
yeah. I was like, okay, what time do I have to be there? They're like, well, in 45 minutes. I'm like, cool. Let me pay my bill. I was staying at the Parktown, I think it was. I'm like, I got to run to my hotel, get my keyboard, get everything I need, and be to the at Amigos in 45 minutes. Great. Okay. See you soon.
That's crunch time because
yeah.
Parktown is not around the corner from the Bez, is it?
And you made it on time.
Yeah, I got there. And I got on stage, and it was probably one of the big, like, Martin Elburn was there. Do you guys know who he is?
Not yet.
Okay, so he's like a really big booking agent. He like books the Stones and like Rolling Stones and all that.
Okay.
And he was emceeing the show. So he emceed it. I got to meet him. Super cool dude. I guess I shouldn't say dude. He's a man. He's literally a full grown man.
He's a dude. He's a dude.
He's a dude. Yeah.
And like all of the Juno committee there, Alan Reed was there. He saw my set. Like all CBC music, like it was.
So how nerve-wracking is that?
Or
is it just happening so quick?
I didn't have time to process anything. I was like, okay, I'm like 4 drinks in. I just ran to my other hotel, got my stuff, ran here, and now I need to like be on stage. Okay, cool.
Right. So, and how much time did you get on stage?
20 minutes. So they had, was it like 7 or 8 of us that performed, and we all, was it 20 minutes? 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I think like 6 songs. Yeah. So it was a very impromptu show, and probably one of the coolest and biggest shows I've played so far.
Holy moly. And then, so do you know, so that whole 45 minutes, are you thinking like, what songs am I going to play and trying to devise like a little set list in your head, or do you have that?
I just played everything I was going to play at my showcase already.
Right.
I mean, I was supposed to have people play for me at my showcase, and I ended up just using my tracks. And the one song I didn't have tracks to, I literally made friends with, I don't know, an artist from Calgary that's from Saskatoon, and she introduced me to her piano player, and he like learned my song in like 5 minutes. We quickly ran through it and jumped up on stage together.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
I like those stories.
Freaking rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an insane night, but it was super cool. It was super cool.
Did you get anything else out of that? Like contact for future shows, or
I made relationships with all the people. I wouldn't say like anything's come out of it since then, but you never know. That's what I'm learning about the music industry. There's a time and a place for everything, and sometimes it doesn't make sense when it's happening, but maybe 4 years down the road it will. So
yeah, you might get a call 3 years from now, saying some dude from CBC Music and said, "Hey, remember that time you played at Amigos? I was there."
Yeah. Well,
shout out to Sask Music too for the referral.
Sask Music is bomb. They've done so much for me. They're awesome. They're great people. Yeah, I don't know. The CBC crew, I feel like they kind of already knew me because I was part of the oh my gosh, why is it blanking on my head now?
The incubator?
That incubator thing? Is that what it's called? Incubator?
Yeah, China's Music Incubator. But no, what's their contest they do every year? Oh, Searchlight. I was in Searchlight contest, and my one song made it to top 100. I was actually the only Saskatchewan artist that made it, and top 50 of the producers' picks. And then I was like one of 10 pop songs to be featured on their like socials and stuff. And I got some airplay out of that. Actually, I was told by one of 2 people that my song was randomly played on CBC the other day. And I'm like, what song was it? They couldn't tell me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I went and like looked back, And I'm like, I don't see it being played. But they're like, no, like, we heard it being played, being like Regina Zone, Shayla Souliere. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'd like to know so I could give them a shout out. But
There's our clip for this week.
Yeah.
We'll tag him in it.
yeah, take a minute. If CBC, if you've played my song in the last couple weeks, let me know.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You should get a royalty check for that. Like
probably
50 cents or something,
50 cents or something. Yeah. I know. I said, I literally got a royalty check from SoCam yesterday, and I was just like, I looked at it and I'm like, oh wow, this is sad. Like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I like texted my friend. I'm like, I made a whole whatever. And I'm like, this is the music industry. And he's like, yeah, don't spend it all in one place. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Frick. Yeah, it's crazy out there. So, okay, for artists and new musicians that are listening to the show, some advice from you on, like, what do you do to make the best bang for your buck? Would you say like it's CD sales or merchandise or gigs? Like, do you have any advice for anybody newer?
I feel like my route was way different from all my other friends. I literally kept getting told by people in the industry that I'm nothing without a social media following, and whether my music was good or not. And so I kind of went online and started growing my socials. And I would say that I make the most off of social media and off of shows.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
So when you say making the most out of social media, like financially, what can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I get I get brand deals and like endorsement deals from like companies and that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, that's where most of my money comes from. I've done like partnerships with like apps. So I've actually worked with TikTok before. Like they've brought me on as a paid content creator. I've worked with like different live streaming companies where I've been like a paid live streamer kind of thing. Yeah. Brand deals for companies. Yeah, that's where most of my money comes from. Not even gonna lie about it. And then shows.
Yeah. Shows for sure.
Much
right?
in like the last couple years, but yeah, shows and brand deals.
Interesting.
100%.
Cool. Right on.
100%. Yeah.
Another question I have for you before we wrap this up is, can we have permission to feature maybe one of your songs or your video at the end of this episode?
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you like us to close the show with?
You take your pick.
All right. Okay. We will be doing that.
I think I'm gonna go with... song? What?
Take your pick. Yeah. Perfect. I'll write this down. I'll go to the next writing session with that.
I think we'll end the episode with your latest video, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and play that one. We appreciate your time. I really hate to let you go here. I know it is early in the day though, and we do have other things scheduled as well. So I do appreciate you coming on. I want you to know that you are part of the Moose family. Okay. And this door is open for you anytime you want to come on. If you've got something out there, you want to promote it, do a little blip or anything, hit us up. We'll get you on the show and we'll talk about it anytime you want.
That's sweet. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thanks you guys for tuning in this week, and check out the video. Hope you guys enjoy.
It happened the day we met. That's when I fell for every word you sent. No, I couldn't help myself. I thought everything would change on that New Year's Day. 'Cause you got to see your whole drink or two that the tree just let down. So now I'm lying to myself saying it's okay. It's okay that you got to see a whole nother side of me. And now I wish I could turn back time, erase the things you said. So many nights I cried, living with these regrets. Looking at messages in my phone, wondering where everything went wrong. No matter how we both pretend, there's just some things you know you can't understand. Whoa, I can't believe this is happening. Whoa, there's just some things you can't understand. No, wish I could turn back time, erase the things I said. So many nights I cried with you inside my head. Looking at messages in my phone, wondering where everything went wrong. No matter how we both pretend, there's just some things you know you can't understand. And you know it, there's just some things you can't understand. No matter how we both pretend, there's just some things you know you can't understand. No, you can't. No, you can't. You know you can't understand. No, you can't.